All right, everyone. We start off today talking about good news and really funny news. Always a good day. Link in the description. Archived, of course. Liberals are spurging out at the moment. And it's really, really funny because the Israel-Gaza peace deal, it's not a final deal. It has not been finalized. It is just the first step towards peace in the region. This much we must admit. But it is still an important step. The fact that it was able to be, solved, at least that preliminary sort of deal, hostage release, prisoner release, and so forth, in relatively short order, shows the ability of the Trump administration to negotiate much better than the prior administration did. So liberals can't really attack the deal now, can they? Because nobody really wants war unless they're psychopathic or something like that. What have they therefore declined into? Well, Joe Biden got more hostages released when he was the president. Look at the Krasensteins right now. Just look at what they're posting. Yeah, no, this is all Joe Biden's doing. No, Joe Biden is known mainly for the Afghan deal. The one that Trump brokered and then Biden broke, unfortunately. He had nothing to do with this. And during his presidency, Joe Biden wasn't even negotiating for hostage release. That was an organic sort of thing between the Israelis and the Palestinians at that particular time. Mainly at the barrel of a gun, by the way. Biden never did jack shit. It's hilarious watching the cope. Well, it's not a final peace deal. There are still some problems. And a lot of these reports, by the way, and this is another thing that you probably have noticed. I can't imagine that any of you didn't notice the fact that many of these press releases talking about the peace deal, they talk about Egypt, they talk about Netanyahu and Hamas and all of these other groups. Many of them don't even mention Donald Trump at all. So basically, there's two tacks that they're running on. Number one, ignore the fact that Donald Trump was so central to the peace deal because they can't attack it. And Orange Man bad, so obviously you can't give him credit for anything. Tack number two is, well, yeah, there are problems. By the way, Biden did a better job. No, he didn't. What are you talking about? Nobody's taking it seriously, by the way. I've noticed in the replies on comment sections and stuff, not just Twitter, but elsewhere, they're getting absolutely ground pounded at the moment. Trump deserves credit for what he has done. Is it perfect? No. Is it just preliminary? Yes. Were there a hell of a lot of liberal commentators who claimed up and down for months that even this step could not be made, that he would fail? Yeah, they did. And they were wrong, as usual. The fact is that they were basically cheering against peace in the Middle East. They're worried about the fact that peace might actually break out in the Levant. Will it be brief? Probably. We've seen this historically speaking. Is this a more solid deal, a more solid rapprochement than we have seen, especially in the wake of what happened years ago with regards to Hamas's hang glider air force and all of the hostages being taken in the first place? Things are now calmer. This does not mean an end to the war. It means that right now there is a ceasefire. But that in and of itself is already extremely impressive. They're not even giving the Trump administration any credit for it. Oh, yeah, Egypt brokered the deal. No, Egypt was the place that Trump went to broker the deal. He was the one that leaned on Netanyahu. He was the one that warned Hamas that basically you're fucked if you don't take this deal, so you might want to take it. He was the one that went in with the diplomacy capabilities that he has and actually talked to people and tried to address, by the way, both sides. And both sides were begrudging of him for doing so. When he talked to Arab leaders, for example, which are generally on the side of Israel, and he said, look, I'm not even going to get to all this other stuff that you're trying to insert into a peace deal. We got to get the ball rolling somewhere. Why don't we just exchange the goddamn hostages first, and then we can go from there? And they poo-pooed it, and they had concerns. And he whirled around, and he made a statement to the entire world, hey, everyone's on board with this peace deal. It's a great thing. And then he winked at them and said, oh, go ahead. Explain to your people why you don't want peace. That'll go over real well now, won't it? And he did the same thing to Hamas and said, well, we can turn your entire nation into a parking lot. So it's probably best that, you deal with us, a sane administration that doesn't really want war, as opposed to waiting until maybe there's another Biden administration or something like that, an administration that'll be owned by Raytheon. He managed to intimidate both sides into a peace deal, and it was the right thing to do. How many lives are going to be saved as a result of this? How many lives are going to be saved? The liberals won't even talk about Trump, and when they do, it's disparagingly. Oh, yeah, Joe Biden was doing a good job. No, he wasn't. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? What are you talking about? Joe Biden's efforts within the Middle Eastern region. Oh, well, you're crossing a red line, man. Come on, man. Can you stop shooting one another? That was basically his contribution and nothing more. Donald Trump went over there and said, yeah, I'm going to lay down the law on you people. Get out of my way. To the point where it's also funny. This is the icing on the cake. And it's like a wet dream almost that this is actually happening. A Republican president, one that is, at least claims to be evangelical and so forth, and goes to the Wailing Wall and stuff. He's the one who told Netanyahu to knock it off. You never got that with prior administrations. Obama said, well, I've got misgivings about some of the things that you're doing. And he left it at that. It was sort of like the red line in the sand in Syria, and Assad said, fuck you, walked over the red line with impunity, and Obama didn't do anything. Other than trying to caused the entire Middle East to implode in a wave of Islamofascism. Thankfully, he was unsuccessful in Tunisia and Egypt. Unfortunately, he was successful in Libya. Hillary Clinton cackling about Gaddafi, that'll never get old. Obama didn't do anything. Biden didn't do anything either. Biden said, hey man, basically calm down. But nobody ever calmed down and he never did anything about it. Trump said, hey, you're being fucking negative all the time. Shut the hell up. Just sign the deal. It's a win for you. It seemed to have worked. And the liberals, their response to it is probably the funniest thing that I have seen. An absolute whitewashing within elements of the legacy media. They don't even mention Trump in the articles about the peace deal. Look at CNN right now. Do you see Trump mentioned in their front page article? No, it's all about Egypt and places like that. It's very, very funny to me. So yeah, I'm having a good high energy morning because waking up to see the Krasensteins doing the usual $1,000 per post propaganda bullshit. At least mention Trump when you're talking about this, and don't make excuses for the Biden administration, which never got a peace deal done in its entire span anywhere in the world, by the way. Never happened. The Afghanistan deal was brokered by none other than Donald Trump. It was ruined by the Biden administration because they didn't understand geopolitics, because Joe Biden also doesn't understand how to dress himself at this point. Now Trump has brought peace to the Levant. It may not be a lasting peace. It may be just a temporary thing. We're hoping that it's not. We're hoping that it brings a full-fledged peace deal. That's admitted. Honestly, we've got to admit to that. But it was Trump that brokered it. He was the central player in the entire proceedings. It wasn't just Egypt up and decided, hey, our neighbors are popping off. Maybe we should try to make peace there. They hosted talks. Who was at those talks? Let me ask the Krasensteins this. Was it A, Donald Trump, or B, Donald Trump? Either one works. They're both the right answer. That's about all. Peace out.